It's a tradition that spans the generations and concludes the summer in the tastiest way possible. For now over 60 years, the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan bids farewell to the summer with their annual ice cream social, connecting neighbors and old friends alike and creating an historical landmark along every calendar's August page. Joining me to preview the 60th annual Sylvan Lake Ice Cream Social is the Garden Club's Tina Herzberg, as well as Sylvan Lake historian Helen Jane Peters. Ladies, thank you both for being with us today.
Hello.
Glad to have
Hi,
you both.
Tyler.
Glad to have you both on the show to talk about this. Always an exciting day in the city of Sylvan Lake, bringing people together for the ice cream social. Tina, I want to start with you. The Sylvan Lake Garden Club plays a big role behind the scenes, getting this all together at the community center. What can we expect here in a couple of weeks?
Well, it's a week away.
Yeah.
We're going to have outdoor games. We've actually got Oakland County bringing some of their inflatable game, bounce house and climbing wall. And there'll be all kinds of history about the ice cream social set up. Good desserts to partake in with a top of ice cream and some sprinkles on top of that. So come say hello to meet new neighbors, say hello to old neighbors, and it's a fun time just getting together with everybody.
6 p.m. on August 21st. That is a Thursday night in the city of Sylvan Lake. 6 p.m. Sylvan Lake Community Center open to everyone in the prettiest little city in the state of Michigan. Helen Jane Peters is also with us, the Sylvan Lake historian. And Helen Jane, Tina mentioned it. This is something that really does also look into the history of Sylvan Lake. But this event in particular is one of those that has spanned the generations. So for you, just how critical has the ice cream social been as sort of that marking point throughout the years and throughout the decades in Sylvan Lake history?
Well, this started 60 years ago in 1965, and it started with the Garden Club. And I don't know for sure if I was at the first one, but I have attended as many as possible. And it's always fun because it's like bringing the whole community together. You see people that you haven't seen possibly since last year when we had this. And it's wonderful for new people to come to meet their neighbors. So that is really fun. One thing that they used to do years ago is the children in Sylvan Lake were asked to sell tickets to the ice cream social. And they were little, like 2x3 tickets, and they would go to their neighbors and ask if they would like to buy one. So they'd be all set when they came to the ice cream social. So if the kids sold 10 tickets, they would receive one free for themselves. And so they really worked hard so they'd have a ticket for themselves. I'm kind of guessing their parents would not just give them $1 to buy a ticket, but they would actually earn their ticket. And that went on for many, many years. In fact, Mrs. Mason was the one in charge of that, and she had been a teacher at Whitfield, so she knew a lot of these kids. And they really had fun going door to door, trying to sell tickets. But that stopped a few years ago. But it was a lot of fun. But we do have our display boards up that tell the history of Sylvan Lake, and I'll be there to answer questions. And we have some special ones that Tina and I made 5 years ago to honor our ice cream social. So there are lots of pictures for you to look at, lots of things that you might not know about Sylvan Lake, and you'll see that on the displays at the community center.
Yeah, small town, but it has a robust history that a lot does center around these community gatherings. Tina, I want to go back to you because the location of this is quite significant in the history of Sylvan Lake, but as it stands right now, the community center property, it could not be a better location to bring people together in the prettiest little city in Michigan, to have all these different activities. And really it is that central point, even though it's off on the lakeside, it really is that central gathering point for this entire Sylvan Lake community.
It really is. The community center, when I first came here, the community center was the old community center. Mm-hmm. And it's been such a gathering space. It's lovely. I love it. And my phone was pinging there. Sorry,
No
I
worries.
missed the rest of your question.
That's okay. Technology gets in the way sometimes. We do this over Zoom, all these interviews. Convenient to bring everybody in from all throughout our community and beyond. And sometimes we got to navigate through that. No big problem. Tina Herzberg with us from the Sylvan Lake Garden Club. Helen Jane Peters also with us, the Sylvan Lake historian. The Sylvan Lake Ice Cream Social comes back for its 60th annual event on Thursday, August 21st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Ice cream, just $2. Great opportunity to meet some new neighbors. And Tina, that's what's really this is all about. It's about bringing people back together from across the city of Sylvan Lake as we wrap up the summer season, one of the most vibrant in the city all throughout the year. But it's also about also a great way to help people that have now joined in on the city of Sylvan Lake to get to know their community a little bit and become a part of it.
It really is. People come from that have moved away, return. You know, we haven't seen them in a little while, and so it's a nice time to revisit and say hello and, you know, what have you been up to? And yeah, we have people that have moved away and still bake us a cake or two and bring it to the ice cream social. And yeah, it's so much fun just discovering the friendships and reigniting, and yeah, it's a wonderful event.
And
some of the write-ups we get afterwards are just amazing.
I can imagine people love to come back to the city of Sylvan Lake that have lived there in past years for things like this, or to explore the city and reconnect with some of those places where they made core memories all throughout their life. And Helen Jane, what's special about the community center being the location for the ice cream social every year, even dating back to 1965 in its first iteration, is that even back in 1965, that's still pretty late in the history of that particular property. It's been bringing out the kids and families and connecting people in Sylvan Lake, even generations before that. So how significant is that location to this particular event today and historically?
Well, our community center is absolutely beautiful. We have a new building. Well, it was built in 2008, so it's not quite 20 years old yet, but it is beautiful inside and out. And the property, I think of one of the things that the kids, Tina has said that they're going to have these inflatables from the county. But, you know, it's up on a hill, and the kids used to love to run down the hill or roll down the hill. And that was always fun. And they used to play like musical chairs, where they put the chairs in a circle, and then everybody marches around the chairs, and you sit when the music stops. And they take one chair away, so one person is left without a chair to sit in, and so they're out of the game. But then they would win something. The last person standing would win a very special cake. In fact, Char Gamble was one that used to make them that looked like a doll or a Disney character, and the kids loved that. In fact, I'll be surprised if Char doesn't do that again. And I want to reiterate, the cakes are all homemade. They are delicious, and it's really hard to make a decision which one you're going to choose. And then you have a choice of chocolate or vanilla ice cream. And I also want to say that Ann Nichols has been the chairman of this event for at least 40 years. Wow. We recognized her a few years ago at the Michigan Week breakfast. To honor her as a volunteer. And she was absolutely, she has this down to a science. She knows exactly what has to happen and what has to happen ahead of time. So it's very well organized. You buy your ticket and you go through the line, and then you choose your cake and ice cream. So we can thank Anne for doing this for so many years, and all the wonderful homemade cakes.
And it's, of course, it's one of the hallmark traditions of the city of Sylvan Lake, but it's also something that has withstood the test of time and also changed over the years. And in a world where we're so fragmented today, we have our busy lives, we have so much going on, we don't necessarily, people are not getting out as much maybe today as they have in the past. Tina, I want to go to you. How important in 2025 are these community traditions now in comparison to even just a few years ago?
Oh, very important. It's just so empowering to know all your neighbors and to see them on a regular basis and to talk and meet with them. You can just take a walk and you're talking to how many people on your walk. I mean, it's very important these days to be able to reach out and just say hello, just know your neighbors. Very important.
And Helen Jane, you've seen this event throughout the years. You've seen the different times throughout the history of Sylvan Lake that you've been in the city, and that you've been serving as the city's voluntary historian. How this event has changed, how it's made an impact, and how it really reflects on what makes the Sylvan Lake community special. So as people are experiencing the event now and in the past few years and in the years to come, just how important are moments like this, even as they are just a drop in time, how important are they over the span of time for a city like Sylvan Lake?
Well, we do know a lot of our neighbors. But there are people that might live on another street that we don't pass when we're out walking. And this is a walking community. And if you don't have a dog, like we don't anymore, it's just unusual for people to walk without a dog. But anyway, we do know and love our neighbors. And we keep track of them. And if we don't see them, somebody will knock on their door to find out if they're okay. So we are a caring, loving community, and we do want to know what's happening with our neighbors. Everyone is very loving. In fact, I just met, somebody just bought the house next door, and I was telling her what it's like to live here. And it's still going to be a surprise to have so many people interested in your life and what you're up to. So we do care about each other, and this is going to continue. This is what builds our whole community. All of what we do here is because we care about each other, and especially our neighbors. So just come, because you will feel the love between everybody, and that's one thing that Sylvan Lake is known for.
And it's these kinds of moments that make living in a town like Sylvan Lake bring you back in time a little bit, back in the generations to when we had these small towns that had that sort of connection and gave people that special connection to where they live. Tina, Helen, Jane, I want to thank you both for joining us. Before we let you go, Tina, anything else that people should know about this upcoming event or other things coming up after the ice cream social with the Sylvan Lake Garden Club?
We'll have our next meeting in September. Actually, we've got an evening presentation coming up too in September. But if you're interested in the garden club, there'll be some information at the ice cream social. You can talk to one of the members if you're interested in joining us. We meet once a month at the community center and talk about gardening stuff or talk about our neighbors.
You can
saying hello. Yeah, just social.
Helen Jane Peters, Tina Herzberg with us from the Sylvan Lake Garden Club and the City of Sylvan Lake. Their annual ice cream social Thursday, August 21st at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. That all kicks off at 6 p.m. Games and activities from Oakland County Parks. Outdoors, plenty of ice cream, and of course, friendly people in and outdoors in the City of Sylvan Lake in just a little while, August 21st, 6 p.m. More information can be found on Facebook at Sylvan Lake Garden Club. Tina, Helen, Jane, thank you both for being with us.
Thank
you, Tyler.